Hey, 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 welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So right now, we're going to be doing a precog reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, also for your cross watchers. This is your 2020 forecast, okay? I'll just tell y'all, I've been real intense lately. Okay. I have been real intense lately. The energies have been very intense, not necessarily combative, but just really intense. And so I'm feeling like this reading probably will be intense too. A lot of truth surfacing for 2020. And this is really going to help to catapult us into the best life for us. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Oh, by the way, hello, my sweatshirt came in and I have shirts. So if you have been one of the ones who have been waiting for me to make this stuff available, it's finally available. You can find it in my merch shelf here on YouTube, somewhere beneath the video or something. I don't really know how it works, but let me just prepare the cards. So Scorpio, you guys have had a bit of an intense few months, very intense. If I remember the readings accurately, there's been a lot of foolery going on, a lot of attempts to manipulate and control you. I'd like to see that that doesn't continue into your 2020, that if it hasn't already resolved itself, that it's on the way to some sort of resolution. Okay, so let's see. Let's see how this goes. Ooh, it looks like maybe it is going to head down that road. Let's see. I'm going to pull another deck, final deck. All right. Excuse me. So here goes. It's the final deck. I like to use multiple decks, as you guys probably already noticed. So let's see. Ooh, very nice. Very, very nice. All right. So here goes. Okay. So card number 7, Legacy of Light. Scorpio, this is telling me that in the year 2020, you're going to be going through a process. If you haven't already begun this process, it's absolutely going to start this year, the beginning of this year, where you're going to go from the infancy of your consciousness up higher to a higher level of knowing, existing, perception, all of that. And this is going to be very key, because if you are still struggling through that, whatever cycle it was of manipulation, if whoever that was in your life that was creating all of that drama, if it was you or someone else, it doesn't really matter. But this is about creating higher potentialities for yourself. This is about tapping into higher levels of discernment so that you can decide, do I really need to show up for this battle that I've been invited to? Because you don't always have to show up. You really don't. Sometimes the most powerful form of rebellion or war is silence. Scorpio, you're very good at that. You're very, very good at that. So here we go. Miracle of Isis, miraculous healing of the goddess. I believe this came out for Pisces as well. I want to say it did. But there's this trend that I'm noticing for pretty much all the zodiacs, the feminine, divine feminine within each of us, because we have both genders. Spiritually, energetically speaking, we have both genders within each of us. The feminine aspects of ourselves is rising up, is becoming empowered. And this is very crucial. It's very, very crucial that you allow this, because it's that feminine that's going to help the masculine aspects of yourself to heal right along with her. So when I say her and him, I'm referencing the divine masculine and feminine. Masculine is yang energy. Feminine is yin energy. You are a yin and yang completed on your own. This is not about waiting for something outside of you to come and rescue you from yourself. This is about recognizing you are your own Messiah. Okay. Ooh, that's potent. That is potent. So forgiveness. Now, I've said before in other videos my own personal beliefs in forgiveness. I believe the concept of forgiveness, personally speaking, is just another veiled form of victimhood and control. Okay. If you're going to wait for someone to offer an apology for a wrong that you perceive they did to you, you might be waiting indefinitely, because oftentimes people will refuse to acknowledge the wrong they've done. And even if they do, oftentimes they won't apologize. That's not a very common thing. So you're going to need to learn to just kind of transcend from this whole forgiveness concept, recognizing that everyone, regardless of their intention, regardless of whether they were intending to hurt you or not, that's irrelevant, because every circumstance that's allowed to be delivered to your spiritual doorstep, it is serving you. It is somehow growing you and expanding, ripening your consciousness. So see it more of, they did me a service. They helped me to learn something that I was struggling to learn. Yes, it was done in a shady way or a hurtful way, confusing way, whatever way, but it was something that I needed to learn. And now I'm just going to let them go. I think this is more of you allowing yourself to let go, not remain fixated, anchored in that moment that disappointed or hurt you. This is one of the major struggles of Scorpio. 2020 is the year that, as a Scorpio, you can choose to be more than just a stereotype of what a Scorpio is. Scorpio. You got to let that sink in. Because a lot of Scorpios, y'all are going to be really pissed at me and offended at me saying this. But let's be real here. A lot of Scorpios, not all, but a lot of Scorpios do struggle with simply being a stereotype. Like, oh, I'm a Scorpio. I do this because no, you do this because you choose to. Scorpios have certain characteristics that are more highly developed, and some characteristics that they struggle to balance. But it doesn't mean you have to adhere to anything. You're a sovereign. You can choose to behave and process life in whatever way you choose. You're not bound to be just a Scorpio. Scorpio is not the only thing in your chart. Your chart is full of other signs, other placements. I don't know anything about those things. I just know what I experienced. And a lot of Scorpios that I have experienced personally, not to, take away from the greatness that they are, but some of them do struggle very, very hard with being just a stereotype. Like, oh, it's because I'm a Scorpio. This is what Scorpios do, the Scorpio this, Scorpio that. And it's like, you're so much more than just a stereotype. I see so much more behind your eyes than the simple, like, stereotypical zodiac sign. So it's time for you to go past being just whatever people say Scorpio is supposed to be. Okay, it's really time to rise above that and show them the gravity of you being a Scorpio, that you can embrace all of these characteristics and use everything, even the things that are considered weaknesses, to your advantage, to further propel you into higher level of consciousness. Okay, because you really have the ability to do that. If creation exists in balance, meaning for every mountain, there is a valley of equal depth as the mountain rises. So if you can go real, real deep, that means you can rise just as high. I don't know if what I said makes sense. I don't know if what I said makes sense. I'm hoping that it does. But creation always has a balance. As far left as you go, there will be opportunity to go equally as far right. Okay? So just allow yourself to embrace that. If you can go real deep and real dark, darkness is not evil. Okay, I'm sorry if that takes away from the image. But darkness is not evil. If you can go real dark, that means you have the capacity to go very, very, very bright. And so you just have to find that balance and give yourself permission to swing between the two. You don't have to be confined just in that one degree of existence because that's what people said you have to be. Fuck them. You don't got to be anything you don't want to be. Card number 33, magic. Scorpio. Ooh, 33 watchers. I'm just saying. 72% at 3, 2, 1. Countdown. Okay, so magic. You're very magical. You have magic running through your veins. You have magic running through your veins. And what's happened is, in order to contain the powerhouse that you are, you've kind of been coerced into limiting yourself into just being a stereotype. And that's not going to fly anymore. It's not. The fact that you're here watching this video, whether you're watching live or watching recorded, this is your soul telling you to rise to higher levels of being at this point. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. If they want to keep watching, because let's be real, once they catch some kind of scent of Scorpio, they're going to keep watching. They're just going to keep watching you. That's just how people function sometimes. A lot of people become obsessed. Once they get a sample of a Scorpio, they get obsessed. Okay. I know that. Well, I don't personally get obsessed, but I know. I hear it from people all the time. So hold on. There was another message for this magic card. So this symbol represents the infinite intelligence of Great Spirit that makes up the fundamental fabric of the universe. We experience the evidence of this magic through synchronicity or meaningful coincidence. When this card appears, you're invited to see the world through the eyes of wonder and awe, taking on the innocence of a child who knows that all things are possible. Infinite potential exists in the great mind, and you are being invited to call it in and recognize the dance and synchronistic events, signs, symbols, and omens given to you through the oracle of the ordinary world. This is a sign that Spirit is reminding you that you co-create your world in a sacred partnership. Your part is to dream, to intend, and to watch for the signs that show you that it's to show you what next action to take. Right now, it appears that you're on the right track to make your dreams come true. Great Spirit is listening and acting on your behalf. Pay attention. Magic gives birth to miracles. It's this really intense feeling that this is the year that Scorpio will break free from any kind of drama that has persisted over the past decade. Ooh, that's intense. That's intense, because for some, they have indeed been going through something. And when Scorpio hurts, you guys hurt very silently. Very, very silently. You don't like to tell other people, even the people you trust. You really just kind of keep it to yourself. It feels like that's going to be lifted from you this year. Honestly, the feeling that I get is it's going to be lifted from you in the next few weeks. That maybe by the end of January, like towards the end of the month, beginning of February time, you're going to begin to see things in such a different light. And it's going to really remove the shackles from around your mind, around your throat, around your wrists, and you'll be able to start rising up in consciousness. That's huge. That's huge, because you've been really confined to the depths, which is not a bad thing, but I mean, to be confined in those depths for pretty much your whole life, that can feel very oppressive. That can feel very limiting, because it is. So let's see. Oh, okay. I didn't even realize this card came up. So did we not just say you're going to be removed of shackles and the weight so you can rise? Oh, well, boom. Hello. Card number 59, Upperworld. You're going to be rising in consciousness. You're going to be rising in the way you perceive, the way you choose to cope, the way you choose to interact, those who you choose to interact with. Scorpio has this reputation of being able to just cut off your feelings, and I don't know what else you guys are known for. I think I don't know. But that's what comes up. And like, truth be told, you're not really able to cut off your feelings the way you say. You're just very good at getting very silent. And it's the density of those feelings, because you become very fixated. When you get hurt, you become very, very fixated, and that's what keeps you mute. It's not that you're shutting off the feelings, it's that you're shutting down. And the shutting down is not going to help you to rise to higher levels. It's not. And this is the year you're not going to be shutting down anymore. You're going to be letting go of all of that stereotypical Scorpio BS that you're told you're supposed to behave like. And you're going to actually begin processing life, responding when you need to, telling people off if you need to, finding different ways to cope that don't require you shutting down, shutting people out. And it's okay if you still need to shut down and shut people out. This is not about telling you that you're living your life wrong. Okay. This is about letting you know that this is the year things are going to be shifting. Don't be surprised if you start becoming a different version of yourself. It's not because of someone else's influence. It's because you're ready to grow into a more mature, a more ripened consciousness, one that's more in alignment with the greatness, the power that you have hidden in that depth, in that darkness. Because let's face it, you hide a lot of that in your depths. Okay. I know you think you hide it, but people know. People know. Okay. They notice. Remember, they're stalking you because people like to stalk Scorpios. Not even kidding. I've heard so many people stalking Scorpios, both girls and guys. I'm just like, yo, I don't know. Just shut down the page. I'm just saying, don't give them access to you. Card number 8, creative spark. So I think for some of you, in order for all of this that I'm talking about to occur, I hate to say this, someone's going to have to piss you the fuck off on a whole nother level. I'm kind of scared now. I'm kind of intimidated now. I ain't even going to lie, because as I said that, there's a couple of you Scorpios that are like, mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God, it wasn't me. Hey, okay, creative spark, card number 8. This is going to be a trauma-induced accretion. And remember this, okay? If you're one of the Scorpios that will go through this process, which I think is going to be a common thing, before you decide to like plot out a kidnapping and I don't know what else you would do. I don't know. Before you plot some crazy ass thing to get your revenge, remember, they're doing you a service. It's their BS that's going to spark your creative spark. This is what's going to trigger that like momentous event, that big aha, like, shit, I'm not going to live like this anymore. So it's gifting you. It's gifting you with higher levels of potentiality, but it does come at a price. Okay, this is very common. This is not just something for Scorpios. This is definitely something that I feel like many of the signs are going to experience. It's a huge shakeup, like grabbing you by your shoulders and shaking you. Oh, well, shit, it's a progression. 7, 8. It's a progression. You're progressing. And, just really embody that face. Like, does she look like she gives a shit? She's just, Are those berries toxic? I think they are. That's pretty awesome. I'm pretty sure that's her just thinking all of these toxic thoughts. She's probably thinking all of these toxic thoughts, and then she's like, no, I'm not going to participate in that anymore. I'm beyond this, fucking peasants. Just be like that. Definitely be like that. Embody that energy. Allow it to inspire you. Card number 3, inspiration. Now, look at the bees, okay? They carry the potentiality of sweetness or a sting, just like a scorpion. You can either, because let me tell you, when Scorpios are balanced, okay, I'm gonna be real honest. I haven't had very many good interactions with Scorpios. Actually, I haven't had very many interactions with Scorpios. There's only like a couple that I've actually interacted with. And I was like, I don't like it. You're too much. And then two of my most favorite people, I find out that they're Scorpios, and I'm like, oh my God. But I've had all these like ugly interactions with Scorpios. How can you be so amazing? And then I realized, okay, those ugly interactions were with Scorpios that are not balanced. And what I'm enjoying so much about these two individuals who have Scorpio in their chart, and I freaking adore them, is because they're balanced. So if you find that balance, you definitely can continue to have that sweetness. Okay. Well, they weren't necessarily a handful to me, but I just witnessing shit. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? This is too crazy for me. I don't say that often. I know I'm kind of crazy. For me to say that, I was just like, what? This is a whole nother, oh shit. Assert your dominance, girl. Assert your dominance so they don't focus on you. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. So you're going to allow the potentiality to go ahead and grow you. Okay. Just let it grow you. Don't focus on, I can't believe you did me dirty, or you tried this or tried that. Let it grow you. Instead, see it as something beneficial. No matter what their intention is, it's not going to affect you in a negative way unless you allow yourself to participate in a negative perception. Okay. So let's see. The lunar queen, she of the celestial crescent. Ooh, celestial crescent. So lunar energy is yin energy, is darkness. This is your energy, Scorpio. This is the kind of energy you're going to be embodying this year. Look at her. She just knows she's the shit. She's untouchable. She will yank your ass out of her space and whip you too. What? I'm just saying, I don't think that's what those are used for. But I mean, we could multi-purpose things, okay? We definitely don't have to limit it to just holding it for pomp and circumstance. Hold on. Let me find the card. Here we go. There is a deep feminine wisdom that recognizes the importance of cycles of rest and replenishment as essential balancing to our actions of power and demonstration. You are asked to allow this replenishment for yourself now, trusting that you are in a cycle of creation that's about to shift into a new phase. Release and enjoy the process without having to control or force it. So, Scorpio, what I'm getting from this card is that, what is that one show? And they told the mage, she was so badass. They told the mage, conserve your chaos. Ooh, I was like, boom, conserve that shit, because you don't want to be wasting your energy on nonsensical BS. Let them do that on their own. Conserve your chaos, conserve your dark energy, because you are about to rebirth yourself. Okay. A mother, a pregnant woman who is about to give birth, really, it would be a poor life choice for her to go run a marathon as she starts contracting. You know what I'm saying? That would be a poor life choice. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying you're going to be exerting all your energy running a marathon, energy that you're going to need to push that baby out. But I mean, if you got the stamina, you got the stamina. I ain't even going to hate. I'm not going to hate. I'm just saying for the average person, that would be a poor life choice. So unless you have the stamina to sustain prolonged exertion of chaotic energy, chaos magic, you really should conserve. Don't allow yourself to be engaged by people who are just really not worth your attention. Okay. And they're going to keep trying. For many of the Scorpios, there's like one or two people who have been pestering the shit out of you this entire winter. manipulating, lying, pulling you into drama, manipulating, lying, repeating the drama, really trying to shame and guilt you into continuing to participate in these cycles. Every time you free yourself, they begin another cycle and pull you back in. And the feeling is that you're just done with that. You're done with it. And so card number 1, after the storm, this is you flying away from that. This is a year you just finally put your foot down and like, look, you don't exist. You don't exist anymore. Do that shit somewhere else. I'm not playing with you. Block, everything else that you need to do to completely cut them out. And you're not being mean. For some people, you have to do this. Okay. For some people, this is absolutely necessary for you to keep your sanity, because all they want to do is feed off your energy. And no, it shouldn't be allowed anymore. Take your dignity, your divinity, and all that knowledge that you've acquired dealing with their crazy asses and fly away. Okay. After the storm, it's always the most peaceful. The land feels so clean. The landscape is just beautiful. 83% at 336. 83336. Ooh, 36. Okay. So as you fly away with your dignity intact, with your gnosis developed, you're going to enter a stage of knowing. Okay. This knowledge that you've acquired from the life experience that you just lived, it's going to be very, very important, because this is not just facts that you memorized from a book. Okay. These are components that you need to further your understanding of life, understanding of your spiritual journey, understanding of why you're here. These are just very important parts. So these very important parts are going to need to be digested. Temple of Carnelian, entering the fierce belly of Sekhmet. So you're going to be really looking at how things have been going, probably over the past winter, for some of you, even up to summer and spring of last year, because some of this has been really drawn out. And you're going to begin digesting all of this information that you've been kind of putting aside, because it was too much for you to cope. It was too much emotion and discomfort for you to be able to process. And now with that individual being removed, you have to remove them first. Okay. With them being removed, you'll have enough stillness to begin processing, to begin digesting these events and understanding on a much higher level of consciousness exactly what happened. How they were able to manipulate you, how they were able to convince you of things that aren't true about yourself. And you need to be able to process these things, because if you don't, you're going to repeat it. And if you end up repeating it in 2020, it's going to be one hell of a worse ride than what you just been through. Like, way worse. But no matter what, the feeling is that even if you do repeat it, because like the moon, things are being done in secret, cycles, waxing and waning. Even if you do repeat it, I feel like for those who choose to continue to prolong the lesson into this year, by the start of fall time, you're just going to be done with it. Yeah, maybe you just need a little more time, but by fall, you're just going to be done with it, and you're going to be ready to really kick it into high gear and make up for lost time. You have a lot of things you're going to need to accomplish this year. Just a lot of things are needing to be done by you. I don't really know what those things are. I'm not being told what in particular, because there's just so many people. You can't assume that everyone's going to do the same thing. But I do know it has to do with growing your perception, really letting it ripen. Ooh. Wow. For those who choose, wow. For those who choose to continue this lesson through this year, because for whatever reason, you're like, well, you know what? Let me give them one more chance. I think they're finally getting it. I think they're understanding where I'm coming from. It's going to be like a baptism through flames because they're going to burn you. Okay. Um, you'll know this applies to you because you'll feel it. You'll just know. You'll feel it and you'll be like, fuck, she's talking to me. I hope no one feels that. But the collective Scorpio energy is telling me to deliver that message. So I hope no one feels that, because what I'm being led to feel, oh, it's like burning every aspect, level, and form of your existence. Um, if they say, Scorpio can be controlling, or do they call them Scorpio manipulative? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But think of the nastiest narcissist you could ever think of and amplify that. And that is close to what the feeling I'm being given, that you would be dealing with that level of narcissism. I don't know that you're the narcissist. The feeling that I get is that you will be experiencing this at the hands of someone capable of that level of narcissism. So, I feel like Scorpio is so often wrongly accused of being very hurtful and vindictive. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's really just this feeling of, and who are you? Okay, I don't know where this is coming from. Okay. As soon as I asked who it was, because I was hearing a specific phrase, as soon as I asked who it was, it took off. So I'm assuming it's parasitic. What it was saying is, well, it's time they realize how much they hurt other people. So they need to feel it, which I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. People can learn without having to experience firsthand um, certain types of pain. But I will share that with you, that was being said. I feel like whatever that parasitic thing was that was making that statement is probably connected to whoever the narcissistic individual is that you are dealing with, if this resonates with you. So with that being said, there's increased potentiality that the narcissist that you will be struggling with for however long this year has a intense parasitic circumstance. Um, I will say, that for a parasitic thing to be bold enough to try and whisper something to me, it has to be a very high-ranking demonic type presence, because anything else will be too afraid. Um, and it knew to take off. So it's very intelligent, 88% at 344. So just kind of keep that in mind. This is not going to apply to everyone. 33 minutes and 33 seconds. Love it. Uh, ooh, yeah. So, damn. Uh, be careful. Okay. Don't engage. Um, don't engage in drama if it's not necessary. Don't allow yourself to be provoked um, without first discerning where this is headed, why you're getting so upset. This is a year where you can change everything about the trajectory of your life. Choose a life that's in alignment with what you deserve. Okay. I definitely feel like this is it's almost like a challenge. I'm trying to discern what the hell that whole statement was about. And it's almost like you're being challenged to see if you'll choose a more evolved response or revert back to old patterns of being. And it's really up to you. It's up to you. I can't say that one is more right or more wrong than the other in regards to how you choose to deal with stuff. I know every circumstance leads you to your growth. No matter what, you grow. Whether you acknowledge that growth or not is the issue. Okay, that's what's the key. No matter what, whatever you experience, it will grow you. But if you choose to ignore, actively ignore, pretend you're not growing, then that's what keeps you confined to a limited way of being. Okay, so if you haven't already given this video a thumbs up, please do give it a thumbs up. Turn on your, subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. So I'm going to be doing Cancer next. If you have Cancer in your chart, or you just want to get more messages from soul, because you don't have to have the zodiac sign in your chart. Come join me in a few minutes. I'll be back live again. Bye, guys.